Is this thing on? Hi, everybody. How are you? Thank you very much for being here, and Happy New Year. Just right out of the gate, I'm gonna talk for a couple of seconds. Is that okay with you? All right. You already know that this is the Old Church Acoustic series, and you can go to Old Church Acoustic, that's old with an E, churchacoustic.com, and see videos from all of our shows that we've ever done. And some of them are really great. I know because I was there, and they were cool. There's a few members of the Old Church community who are not here today because of illness. And I know that there's a few community members who are not here because they are at a memorial service after a local tragedy, which you may have seen on the news. So I just wanted to take a minute just to express a little bit of gratitude because where I'm standing is pretty nice. And I made it through another day, you know, and some people didn't. And I'm glad that you made it through the day too. So thank you very much for being here and sharing some great music with me, because this happens to be a very special night for me. Okay? All right. Thanks very much for listening. I appreciate you. You already know I'm going to tell you about the sponsors, which is you. I'm going to tell you about you know, the people that work on the committee and put the shows together. I'm going to tell you about my old friend and mentor, Don White. But right now, I'm going to tell you about Sweet Louise and the Monkey River Band. This is a band that I just kind of met maybe 3 years ago. I think I knew of Spooner just because he owned a cool pizza joint back in the day, and we used to go there. It was like the CNC Cola of the pizza joints in New Haven, Connecticut. But everybody loved it. I loved it too. I had a girl at the time who that was her favorite pizza joint, so I went to Spooner's a bunch. But this is, I've only known these guys for a few years, so I've watched them sort of like write new songs and things like that. And I just think that they are among the more charming bands on the Connecticut scene. Has anybody here, how many people have seen Sweet Louise and the Monkey River Band before? Okay, so 5 people in the audience. That means I get to introduce the rest of you to a really incredibly charming band, and that makes me really, really happy. Ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a problem with this show. I'm warning you now. It'll be that your face will ache later on from smiling so much during the course of the night. So get used to it right now, and please welcome Sweet Louise and the Monkey River Band.
Thank you.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Me and the Brady Bunch got nothing in common. My mama drove a car with a hole in the bottom. Didn't kiss a boy till I was 24. It's an off-kilter life for sure. Got myself a big old degentrified man. He doesn't have a house, so he lives in his van. I really want it so much more. It's an off-kilter life for sure. The off-kilter life, it's so exciting, seems so colorful and inviting, but you won't like it once you're there. It should carry a disclaimer, buyer beware. Oh, not really sure what I was thinking. My boyfriend's majored in guitars and drinking. Finally got wise and threw him out the door. It's an off-kilter life for sure. The off-kilter life, it's so exciting, seems so colorful and inviting, but you won't like it once you're there. It should carry a disclaimer, buyer beware. Oh, walking in a high-class neighborhood. A man on the corner sings, Johnny be good. But Johnny didn't do what he said he would. It's an off-kilter life for sure, oh yeah. Off-kilter life for sure, Off-kilter life, you better think twice. It's an off-kilter life for sure. Thank you. So this next song has a little story to go with it. This is my husband, Jay. Jay and I got married like almost 3 years ago. We got married in May of 2020. The pandemic was just starting, and we thought, what a great idea. Let's get married during the pandemic, because people won't have to give us presents, and we won't have a big to-do or anything. We'll just quietly get married. And Kevin's sister is a justice of peace, so she married us. So the idea was just like the three of us, Jay and I, the justice of peace, will go outside, we'll stand 6 feet apart, and we'll, say our vows. And then we told people we were getting married, and they wanted to come, and we're trying not to have so then it's like, yeah, you could come, but park your car down the street and stay in the car, and it'll be like a drive-by wedding or, curbside. Anyway, so it didn't work out that way. Jay's family came down. There was probably like 20 people there, and I was getting very anxious. And this song is about my anxiety. I wasn't worried about getting COVID. I was worried about this happening. Jailhouse bride, jailhouse bride. They couldn't hold the wedding inside. So they married on the lawn and had a drink. Now they're serving time in the city clink. Everybody's cussing out that jailhouse bride. The old neighbor down the street, she's the crabbiest woman you'd ever meet. She did much like the goings-on outside. She grabbed her phone and called the cop. Please make this germ-spreading spectacle stop and ruin the special day for the jailhouse bride. Jailhouse bride, jailhouse bride. They couldn't hold the wedding inside. So they married on the lawn and had a drink. Now they're serving time in a city clink. Everybody's cussing out that jailhouse bride. Now you all heard about Bridezilla, but who knew an outdoor wedding could kill you? We drank through masks to the bride and groom. When the cop car came and took them away, it was a sad end to their wedding day. Metal bars and separate cells for the honeymoon. Jailhouse bride, jailhouse bride. They couldn't hold the wedding inside. So they married on the lawn and had a drink. Now they're serving time in the city clink. Everybody's cussing out that jailhouse bride. If you get married during quarantine and you don't want the gift of COVID-19, have your Spence and wedding presents through the mail. You'll still be looking looking at a sentence for life, joined forever as husband and wife, but you won't spend a minute of time in the city jail. Jailhouse bride, jailhouse bride. They couldn't hold the wedding inside, so they married on the lawn and had a drink. Now they're serving time in the city clink. Everybody's cussing out that jailhouse bride, jailhouse bride, jailhouse bride. Everybody's cussing out that jailhouse bride. So we got like these 3 marriage songs we put together. That's the first one. This is not written by us, but it's all about us, sort of. And it's you know, because we were stuck. Our whole marriage has been the pandemic. So we're like with each other 24/7, all day, every day and night. We couldn't go out, and we're still married, like after 2.5 years. So anyway, we've learned a lot about each other.
Well, she don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She turns down her nose at money. She gets it on like an Easter bunny. She's my baby and I'm her honey. Never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. I caught him once, he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. Drinks his beer like it's oxygen. He's my baby, I'm his honey. Never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There'll be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
Well, she thinks all my jokes are corny, and convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs, swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs, but she takes a licking and keeps on ticking, never gonna let her go.
He's got more balls than a big brass monkey, a whacked out weirdo love bug junkie, sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes, he's howling at the moon. He's my baby, I don't mean maybe, never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There'll be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There'll be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. And there'll be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. All right. So here's the third song in the marriage trilogy. Kathy, you gave me that term, the marriage trilogy. Then this song I wrote recently. And the title of the song is Disclaimers and Fine Print. I don't to do the song, and the title's the best part, right? Okay. The filter between my brain and mouth, well, it don't always work. Sometimes I say things that I don't mean, and I sound just like a jerk. I lose my keys, watch and phone, blame you for mistakes I made all on my own. But if you're looking for a way out, here's something you ought to think about. Don't get ideas about walking away, 'cause there's a new reason to love me every day, such as my good cooking, and I laugh at your jokes. I know I'm a handful, try to tell you what to do, but what's good for me is good for you, and you took the vow, you're stuck with me now. I'm sorry I left my shoes on the floor, I only got 20 pair, I could use a few more. Living with me can be a real trip. To do my hair, it takes an hour, and that don't count the time in the shower. So sorry to make you late, my dear, just settle back and have another beer. If you get ideas about walking away, well, there's a new reason to love me every day, such as my good cooking, and I laugh at your jokes. I know I'm a handful, try to tell you what to do, but what's good for me is good for you, and you took the vow, you're stuck with me now. For better or worse and all that stuff, you can't call it quits when you had enough. Have a heaping helping of compromise. I get my new shoes, you'll get your guitar. I think we're doing great so far, but if you have any doubt, here's something you ought to think about. Don't you get ideas about walking away, 'cause there's a new reason to love me every day, such as my good cooking, and I laugh at your jokes. I know I'm a handful, try to tell you what to do, but you'll have to stick around, it's all you can do, 'cause you took the vow, you're stuck with me now. You took the vow, you're stuck with me now. See, and after that song, he still couldn't end it properly. Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding.
Just kidding, honey. Yeah. I won't use you to
I'll
make
hear about
jokes
that
at your
later.
expense in public. Oh. Okay. All right. This
Tell the
song,
story.
I'm not going to tell the story with
Tell
this
the
song.
story. Go ahead.
This song we came up. Jay lost his wallet, but I took the vow, so this came with him. He loses his wallet on the way to North Carolina, and so on our way there to see my son, and then so the whole time Jay doesn't have his wallet, and we're looking everywhere for it, and then it occurs. I thought, I'm sure you left it at the BP gas station, because we stopped at one of those. But there's like a million BP gas stations in North Carolina and Virginia where we were driving. So we started on the way home stopping at each one, getting off.
Every exit.
And this doesn't look like it, or I think this is it. No, this isn't it. Anyway, so we both realized neither of us could remember what it even looked like. So one of us said, "Is your bad memory better than mine?" And then we thought that was a cute line, but
To open a song. It's a great opening line for a
yeah,
song.
but the song has nothing to do with this story. Okay, we started that.
Ready? Ready? You take Okay, you lead it then.
No.
Is your bad memory better than mine? Did I say I was leaving for good this time? But now I think that I'm changing my mind. Don't let me go. Please don't let me go. Think of me on the road without you. It ain't a pretty picture, you know it's true. And I don't know what I would ever do without you. So don't let me go. Please don't let me go. We both know it was an idle threat. So let me save face and let me pretend that I never needed you.
Don't throw out the baby with the water from the bath. We can't keep going down the same old path. We're not getting younger. Just do the math. And don't let me go. Please don't let me go. We both know it's an idle threat, so let me save face. Let me pretend that I never needed you. So build me a fire in the rusty old stove. Wrap your arms around me and enjoy the glow. I'm not leaving today, and I know you know. So don't let me go. Please don't let me go. Don't let me go. Please don't let me go. Don't let me go. Please don't let me go.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Just play the chord. Okay. Bought another dinner for one. I sit and watch some pointless rerun, and the tears fall down, 'cause this is not what I planned. Staring at the books on the shelf, on how to help or better myself. A lot of good it's done, another one's going to hell. I've been jilted again. He packed his bags and left, whistling a happy song. I jumped through hoops to keep that man. How did I get it so wrong? I tried new positions, I learned his friends' names. I made myself sit through football games. Been jilted again. Here's when self-pity sets in, and ominous predictions begin. reaching for the gin. Talking to myself and the cat, weeping at the drop of a hat. For goodness sake, I can do better than that. I've been jilted again. He packed his bags and left whistling a happy song. I jumped through hoops to keep that man. How did I get it so wrong? I tried new positions, I learned his friends' names, I made myself sit through football games. Been jilted again. Things are gonna change from now on. I think those self-help books are a con. Be sure next time my geisha ways will all be gone. Try to please and always be nice. Trust the Cosmo quiz for advice. I'll just be myself and see if that will suffice. I've been jilted again, but hey, good riddance, I don't think that he was meant for me. I jumped through hoops to keep that man, now he's gone, I'm finally free. To try new ambitions, learn new friends' names, and wash my hair through the football games. Been jilted, good riddance. Been jilted, good riddance. Been jilted, good riddance, the end.
Ready?
Got one more?
We
Is
do.
that okay? Okay. Okay. Our ending song. This was inspired by Kevin, our bass player. As Frank said, he's an incredible foodie, a chef, pizza maker, who makes all this stuff. And we went over one night for the rehearsal, and Kevin had made this homemade limoncello, and it came out of the freezer. It was ice cold. It was delicious. So if you have a sip of Kevin's limoncello, you'll write a song too. It's that good. Bartender, fix me something nice. Pour some limoncello, put it over ice. Been making lemonade for far too long, but now those days are gone. I met a man, he made me his wife. I had lemons in the morning and lemons at night. Mama always told me there'd be lemons in life. I found out that Mama was right. Hey, bartender, he done me wrong. No more lemonade, I need something strong. Turn the sour fruit to sweet delight and keep it coming for the rest of the night. some limoncello and forget the ice. The sour fruit has hung around too long, but now those days are gone. As you can see, I'm all sugar and spice, but I had a man, he was cold as ice. Now I'm on my way to a place in the sun, making limoncello, having loads of fun. Hey bartender, you handsome fellow, get me some more of that limoncello. The sour fruit has hung around too long, but now those days are gone.
Hey, bartender.
You handsome fellow,
Hey, bartender.
more limoncello.
Hey, bartender.
Don't harsh my mellow.
Hey, bartender.
You're my kind of guy.
Hey, bartender.
Loosen up your tie.
Hey, bartender.
Bring your whole supply.
All right, I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, I go for another round.
Who's got this one?
I got the last one.
Okay.
Oh, it's my turn, my turn. I'll buy us the next round. See, the bartender really likes me. I saw him checking me out all night. So, woohoo, bartender, over here.
Why is he making that face?
He's not. Woohoo, bartender. He seems to be ignoring me. Woohoo, bartender. What do you mean I'm cut off? Well, I never. I'm out of here.
Get out of here. Anyway, thank you all very, very much.
Folks, that's Sweet Louise and the Monkey River Band. Sponsored by Limoncello. Brought to you. I'm having a great time already. Here's what's going to happen. You ready? We're going to take about a 10-minute break. I'm going to have a very important financial talk with you, and then we're going to bring up Don White. Is that okay? All right. Did you like Sweet Louise and the Monkey River Band? Me too. And you're going to love Don White as well. Folks, thank you very, very much for being here. We'll see you in maybe in 9 minutes. Is that all right? Good. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here at the Old Church Acoustic Series. That's oldchurchacoustic.com, old with an E. All the videos of all of our shows are there, and you can watch them late at night. It's a nice thing to do when you're snuggling with your pillows. It's a beautiful thing. I told you that this was a special show for me. Did you like Sweet Louise and the Monkey River Band? They just make me smile, and I love those guys so much. So thank you for listening to them, and I appreciate that. The guy I'm about to put on stage is a real important character in my life. You probably all remember teachers that you have had. I never had this kind of classroom, but every word that he ever said to me had wisdom, crazy blue-collar wisdom. And every time I'm in the same room with him, it's a joy for me to be there. He's one of the great songwriters and humorists of our time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Lynn, Massachusetts, Don White.
Let's hear it again for that fantastic opening set. My God, wonderful. All right, who's seen me for the first time? Raise your hands up. Look at the fresh meat in the church tonight. Wow. I'm going to do my good material now. All right, I have been married for 43 years. Congratulate me. Come on now. This is a song that I wrote after my son went to college and my wife realized that there wasn't going to be any buffer between us anymore. It was a very difficult moment for Mrs. White, and she's so happy that I travel around the country sharing it with groups of strangers. Thanks for coming out. Rascal is the dog, he ain't too bright. Me and Rascal were sitting on the couch last night when my woman come in and started to cry. She looked at us with such terror in her eyes. She said, I have raised these children for 18 years while you have done nothing. Oh, look, we found the pulse of the audience already. And now they're growing up and they're moving out of here, and my big reward for all that I've been through is this dog as dumb as mud. And you, yippee-yahoo. The rascal looked at me in disbelief. He said, she can't be talking about you and me. She has got us to spend the rest of her whole life with. Would you please tell her how incredibly lucky she is? And I said, who is gonna love you any better than this? We'll wake you up every morning with big wet kisses when we hear the police sirens in your neighborhood. We throw our heads up in the air and we howl for you. Ow! And that's cool. You gotta admit, that's pretty cool. You know, I don't believe we had succeeded in convincing her of the outrageous good fortune that had just befallen her. In fact, instead of looking happy as she could be, she looked a little bit, well, you know, suicidal to me. But hey, kids go to college, kids move away, but dogs and husbands, that's who stays. To you it seems like a terrible trick of fate, but me and Rascal don't see it that way. We're thinking, ain't we cuddly, ain't we cute? We're both real funny, we're both real true. There's another thing about us that's very cool. If you scratch us on our belly, our left leg moves. And you gotta admit that's cool. I feel like I'm scaring some of you. Well, okay, so maybe we ain't that smart. We're a couple of mutts with a lot of heart. And this is what I look like when I'm flirting. And when I need new medication. But no one could ever love you better or give you more loyalty than this dog, as dumb as mud. This dog is dumb as mud. This dog is dumb as mud. And me, how lucky can one girl be? She's got a dog like you and a man like me. We'll be together well into this next century. Put that knife down, baby. Rascal, I don't think that Mom is too happy. Maybe we should sing for her. She always likes that. There appears to be at least a couple of potential canines in the church this evening. Maybe if we told them about the domestic difficulties that we're having on the home front, they might chime in and sing along. You know, in a lot of communities, if you heard a bunch of people howling the way I'm hoping we all will be howling in the next minute or two, and that sound was coming out of a 350-year-old church, it might draw some attention. But I drove around Meriden. It's Friday night. It reminds me of my hometown, Lynn, Massachusetts. I don't think it's going to draw any attention at all, really. So on the count of 3, let's all howl. Make them wonder across the street at the gallery what kind of concert is going on over there today. All right? And this is how I judge how hard I'm going to work for you the rest of the night. So you got to participate. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Nicely done. I've got $300 bills that are all brand new. They are begging me to think of something cool to do. How about I'll take you downtown, spend them all on you. I don't want to stay home tonight. We have worked so hard for so many years, built a home, a life, a family, and 2 careers. Saved our money for the future, now the future's here. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me, how it used to be. Every week on Friday night, there is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home again tonight. Me and Michael, Johnny, Richard, Ruthie, and Joan all had bouts with cancer last year, you know. If cancer was a man, I would punch him in the throat. I don't want to stay home tonight. 'Cause time isn't sentimental, it doesn't seem to care about your plans or your hopes and dreams. It just keeps track of your minutes and then it wipes the slate clean. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me, how it used to be. Every week on Friday night, there is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home again tonight. Well, I know we can't party like we did before. Can't stay out till 4 in the morning no more. But the house is paid off and the kids are all grown. What the hell have we been working for? Let's take a nap, take our inhalers, take a multivitamin, and then go out to hear some music with all of our friends who didn't die from the way we used to party back then. I don't want to stay home tonight. 'Cause time isn't sentimental, it doesn't seem to care about your plans or your hopes and dreams. It just keeps track of your minutes and wipes the slate clean. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me, how it used to be. Every week on Friday night, there is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home, can't stay home. I can't stay home again tonight. I want to thank you for coming out. So look around and just sort of gauge the average age of the people in here tonight. Don't speak that horrible number. Just gauge it. So the average age of this audience is my demographic. You are my demographic, and I want to thank you for coming out at night. Do you remember when you were 17 what you were thinking when some old person said, "I don't like to drive at night"? You're like, "What? I don't like to drive at night. Why?" It's because of the glare. You're like 17, like, what? Glare? So I want to thank you for coming out with all that glare and endangering all the other motorists in Connecticut to come to this concert. All right. I've written a lot of songs about raising kids. I'll do this one here, and then we'll move on to other subjects. But this is a song about the most difficult of the child-rearing experiences. And maybe you think you know what the most difficult is. Maybe you think it's when they're little, like my grandsons. I have twin grandsons. I call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. And they learned to walk while they were living at my house. So for a while, it was like having 2 little drunk men bouncing around my house there. Maybe you think the most difficult is when they're little, like Thing 1 and Thing 2, when every little bacteria in the world's trying to find some orifice to get in and cause them pain and suffering. That would be a good guess, but that would be wrong. Maybe you think the most difficult is when they're teenagers and you haven't slept all summer because they're out with a pair of binoculars trying to find some keg party that you're sure they're at when they lie to you and say they're sleeping at their friend's house. Is this too real? That would be a good guess, too. But you'd be wrong about that, too. I'm here to testify in front of the gigantic pipe organ. So you know I got to be telling the truth. I'm here to testify that the most difficult of the child-rearing experiences is when they're in their 20s and you're trying to get them to move out. Our kids are grown, they're both in their 20s. They live at home, they are never going to leave. And why should they go? They've got it good here, you know. Their food, their phone, their rent is free. They would have to be out of their minds to leave. But I was thinking, what if things were different? You know, living here at home with you and me. What if we decided we could act like they both did when they were in their teens? So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I've got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We'll both get really drunk, or we'll put a big dent in her trunk. And we'll drive real fast on the thoroughfare. If we get a speeding ticket, hey, we won't care. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. And they'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, Mom, climb out of this window. Come on out, be 16 with me. Picture our kids calling all of our friends up and asking them if they know where we are. Of course, all our friends will lie and say they ain't seen us all night, but we'll be standing right beside them while they're on the phone, smoking and drinking and carrying on when we come strolling home on Sunday morning. Around 10 o'clock while the neighbors walk to church, our kids will ask us where we've been, and then they'll ask us again, and we will just make up a great big lie and swear that it's the truth until the day we die. And they'll be the ones trying to find the truth out, and we'll be the ones lying through our teeth. And under pressure, we'll confess that we had unprotected sex. That will gross them out so much they might just start to think about moving out. Let that sink in for a minute. If turnabout is fair play in this life, then what better way to encourage them to leave than to give them both a dose of what it was like who lived with them when they were in their teens. So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We'll both get really drunk, we'll put a big dent in her trunk, and no one will know where we are until we come home in a police car. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Oh man, be careful. You're not as young as you used to be. That's 40 feet down there. I should have brought a ladder, probably. You know what? The kids are both drunk and passed out. Let's just go out the front door. Come on out and be 16 with me. Okay, so during the pandemic, I had no gigs and nothing to do, so I wrote a book. This is my second book. My first book is called Memoirs of a C Student. That's the name of my first book. It took 5 years to write that book. If I was a B student, I could have done it in a week, probably. This book is called The Hitchhiking Years and Four Other Stories. So half of this book, 120 pages, is a story about my wife and I. We left Lynn, Massachusetts, sort of the Meriden of near Boston, working class town, and we took off hitchhiking right out of high school. I was still 17 years old, and we hitchhiked for 3 years. Do you believe that? Let me say the whole sentence. I left with my girlfriend at 17 years old in 1974, and I hitchhiked for 3 years, and I'm still married to that person now. How about that? I have to be the only living person that can say that, I think, right? When I say that I hitchhiked for 3 years, when's the last time you even saw a hitchhiker, right? Like I feel like a guy who used to make buggy whips or something like that. So there's one photograph, people didn't have telephones in their pocket, so there's a Polaroid, one photograph, and that's on the front of this book here. This her and I standing in Texas in 1975. And on the back is her and I here. We went out and stuck our thumb out on the Linway just like last year. But she told me she's only hitchhiking to a hotel with room service now. I'm going to read just a little bit from here, but I just want to say something to you. Having to think about this stuff, for the year that it took to write about it, it made me realize why we are the way that we are, her and I, and a couple of things that we learned. And one is that we believe that people will be kind to us. The world is designed in a way now to have you believe that everybody is unkind. But my theory is, here's the horrible thing that happens in the big city 100 miles away, and here's the camera crew that drives to film it. I always think, how many houses full of nice people did they pass to film that? That's the math of it. 70,000, 80,000, 100,000 to 1. And we traveled for 3 years on the kindness of strangers, and we believe, we're not naive, we come from a tough place. People would say to us before we left, are you crazy? You're going to go out and hitchhike around the country? Aren't you afraid of that? But we believed, coming from Lynn, Massachusetts, that the rest of the world wouldn't be stupider than the place we were leaving. And the other thing, which I learned when I was writing about this, is that, how when something bad happens, like you get a phone call and somebody's sick or something like that, and your brain just starts going to the worst thing that could happen, and that until you gather the information and find out that whole day is gone with worry and dread. We never did that because we couldn't call anybody. We couldn't do anything. We had to. It would be raining. We'd be standing someplace. People throwing beer cans out the window at us and stuff, right? And we just had to wait and see how it played out. And as we grow and raised our family, and during times with pressure, we never gave away a good day to dread because we were wired from this experience to not do so. So I don't want to preach here, but these are just things that I learned about myself and my wife because I had to go write about this. So here we go. Thanks. I have seen, driven on, stood beside, bounced untethered in the back of pickup trucks for miles upon, and inhaled deep into my lungs the dust of many dirt roads in my life. But never could I have imagined a stretch of gravel as impressive as the Alaska-Canada Highway. When we set out to hitchhike this beast in 1975, it was approximately 1,400 miles of dirt. If a similar road extended west from Boston, your tires would not touch asphalt until you reached Omaha, Nebraska. Of course, it's all paved now, which means that North America is no longer able to provide a similar experience to the one that Teresa and I had in July of that year. Not only was it unpaved, but being the only land route for supplies destined for Alaska, it attracted a very special breed of unhinged truck drivers who drove it at high speeds with an attitude that was just a smidgen beneath reckless abandon. The first time we were nearly blown off the side of the road and into the Yukon wilderness by a truck driving 75 miles per hour, pulling 3 fully loaded trailers on this epic stretch of gravel. We knew we were entering a world peopled with a tribe of humans we had not previously encountered. A second impossible to ignore indication that our docket of new experiences would soon include a series of fresh entries were the road signs. The first one we leaned our backpacks against had taken at least 1 and possibly 2 shotgun blasts, permanently relinquishing its intended information to the realm of conjecture. Standing beneath a bullet-riddled sign that drunks, kids, moms, and clergymen shot at out the passenger window with a nonchalance reminiscent of the way most folks would wave to a neighbor was a bit intimidating and spoke volumes. There is a sulfur hot spring along the Alcan Highway in northern British Columbia. It's called Leard. And today there's a restaurant and a lot of stuff there now. But to my recollection, when our driver pulled over and said he wanted us to experience something special, there was a wooden boardwalk and nothing else. We walked a short distance through swamp and boreal forest. You could feel the heat before the path opened to reveal a pool of water with steam rising from it. A stream fed the area so you could get warmer or cooler by swimming toward or away from the hot spring. Sulfur, in case you don't know, smells like rotten eggs. In my life, I have had more than my share of rotten egg experiences. This would turn out to be my favorite. Teresa had told me when she was a little girl that she loved the TV westerns and the stories about pioneers and wagon trains. Before she was old enough to know that she had been born a century too late, she was sure that when she grew up, she would be a pioneer woman. And here we were. 2 kids from Lynn, Massachusetts, holding our bodies against each other in a natural hot spring at the top of the world. Her long, wet, black hair touched the small of her back. Her crystal blue eyes windowed the joy in her heart. The smile on her face unveiled that little girl who always knew that she was born to be a pioneer. This is one of my life's most treasured memories. I left here at 7, it's 11:30, I am dragging myself up the stairs. 16-hour days have a definite way of making me want to pull out my hair. Tomorrow is ringing my doorbell and it's singing, I am right down here waiting on you. I am weary as hell, I know only too well. There's not a whole lot I can do. And Terry is sleeping alone with the TV on. I am on the edge of the bed. And some guy on my TV is talking right to me. I don't hear a word that he says. 'Cause my mind is working against me, pointing all of my faults out to me. But hey, me and all my imperfections are tired. We just need to get us some sleep. I just need to lay me down beside my sleeping lady. And the only sound will be of gentle breathing during the hours we sleep. She is breathing a new life into me, and when the morning erases the night, I will have what it takes to get back in the fight. If her breath is heavy or light or unsteady when I lie beside her this way, my body naturally knows that it has to be breathing the very same way. Please don't ask me about being married. How could I ever explain to someone what it means to a man to lie by his companion? With their two bodies breathing as one, I just need to lay me down beside my sleeping lady, and the only sound will be of gentle breathing during the hours away sleep. She is breathing a new life into me. When the morning erases the night, I will have what it takes to get back in the fight. When the morning erases the night, I will have what it takes to get back in the fight. Thank you. I'm involved with a fair amount of what I would call young people, people in their 20s. That's what a young person is to me, someone in their 20s. And they will say to me, how do you know, Don, how do you know that someone you're dating when you're 18 is the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, like you and Teresa? And I have no idea. But that doesn't stop me from lying to them. I'll tell them anything. I'll say the first thing you need to know when you're looking at a partner is you need to make sure that he has opposable thumbs. Both people in the relationship need opposable thumbs, because all married people know the key to a long marriage is to be able to turn the doorknob and get away from one another occasionally. But if they press me, I'll say, well, I didn't know this in the beginning, I was just lucky. But I know this looking back. Are they good under pressure? Like, if they are, that's a big check mark, a big red star on the plus column, because the pressure in a long marriage is unbelievable. And so if the person that you're thinking about going the distance with, if they get strong under pressure, that's something to consider. But the other thing, and this one I think is the most important, do they make you laugh? Do they make you laugh? You can't put a price on laughter in a marriage. And my wife is from the projects in Lynn. She grew up in federal housing, and she's Irish and Boston and got an attitude problem, and she's like got the wise guy Boston Irish project thing going. And she is so funny, and I'm going to give you an example. Let's go back to the song I just sang. It's called Breathing, okay? That's the name of that song. And I was so proud when I wrote that song. You get the idea of it. Let's remember now, like you go out and you work all day, and the work and the life that you're living sucks the life force out of you. You come home an empty shell, drained of the will to live, and you lie beside your soulmate, and they breathe new life into you while you're sleeping. I thought to myself, I am a poet. I just wrote a poem. This is poetry. I was so cocky, right? And I don't sing songs for her, like sit her down and sing them. And if you're a songwriter, don't do that. It's a high-risk proposition. What are they supposed to do? Give you a standing ovation? Well, what if they don't like it? Whatever. So what I do is I wait till she comes to see me at a concert, and she will come to a concert of mine if I'm opening for someone she likes. So she was in a show. She was surrounded by people that I assume nobody was writing songs for. And so I sort of invisibly used the pressure of that, to sort of help my cause. So I played the song, and we're driving home. And it's quiet, and she's over here. And eventually I can feel this side of my face getting hot, And finally she says, "That song?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you want me to tell you what I think about it?" I go, "No." And this is what she said to me. Now, I'm in the comedy business. I know a fair amount about it. I teach it and everything. So I generally can see the joke coming. But the fact that she said this to me, I did not see it coming. It made me laugh so hard. And it's just, I know I cannot find another woman that could do this to me. So she goes, "Do you want me to tell you about what I think about that song?" I go, "Go ahead." She goes, "No wonder every morning I wake up exhausted." You're sucking the life out of me. In the 18, 19, 20, 30, 43 years that we have been wed, I've wondered if you ever heard a word I said. Until I said, "Pass that remote control over here," and you told me to blow it out my ear. I love you, you're a sassy brat. You make me mad and you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. When my fans call up and say that I'm great, you tell them that that is a huge mistake. If they had to live with me, they would understand what a big pain in the ass I am. I love you, you're a sassy brat. You make me mad and you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. There are men that like women who they can manipulate, bring them breakfast in bed and always tell them that they're great. Well, my sassy lady never does that for me, but at least the life with her is definitely not boring. She says, "If you want me to believe that you're great, do a couple loads of laundry around here someday." Hey pal, it's only because you're still kinda cute that I haven't already gotten rid of you. I love you, you sassy brat. You make me mad and you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. You say the kids have both gone to the show. Just checking that short-term memory, people. How about a little quickie before they come home? And I say, I suppose you think you're really slick, the way that you keep emphasizing little and quick. So I'm not that sure I love you, you're a sassy brat. You hurt my big ego and you make me mad. Please don't cut our time in half, let me grow old with my sassy brat. Sassy bratty lady been a hanging around here, driving me crazy all these years. If I could ever afford to see a psychiatrist, I'd ask him why the hell do I like being treated like this? We were in bed but we were still awake. You said I really love you in this life we've made. I said, hey, can I quote you on what you just said? You told me if I did you'd punch me in the head. I love you, you sassy brat. You make me mad, you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. I hope it's not too much to ask. Let me grow old durr with my sassy breath. I want to tell you about my dad now, Larry White. Larry White was a cigarette smoking, whiskey drinking, gin rummy playing, World War II, American Legion, 40 years at the GE as a rigger and a crane man. Manly, manly, man! If I ever brought him to a poetry reading where people were talking about their feelings, his molecules wouldn't hold together. He never did one thing he was supposed to do in order to stay alive. He hadn't eaten a vegetable since the 50s. He hadn't cracked a sweat since World War II. He just ate red, bloody meat, smoked cigarettes with no filter on them, and just defied his life choices to kill him. Just said, show me what you got. Did whatever he wanted. My last good conversation with him, he said to me, Donnie, that's the way he talked. Because he had been smoking since he was 14. Now he was like 82 years old. He's like, Donnie. It was like there was like a brush fire right here. He's like, Donnie, I found a new fried clam place. I'm like, Dad, what did your doctor say about eating fried clams? My doctor? I'm like, yeah. The one that told me to stop eating fried clams? I'm like, yeah. He died 20 years ago. You want to live to be 82? Let's go get some fried food. My dad was Irish and my mother was Greek. And as we all know, those two nationalities are forbidden from reproducing. For good reason. So Lynn had a bunch of Greek people and a bunch of Irish people. This was the 50s, and I'm sure they wanted to get married, but in those days, unless you're old enough to remember, the churches were very powerful, and the families, between the churches not liking each other and the families not liking each other, there's no other Greek-Irish people my age except my mother and father, because they have an attitude, be yourself, let them deal with it. That was their attitude. And when my grandfather, John Soteropoulos, found out that his daughter was marrying a Catholic, he lost his mind. He lost his mind. He wouldn't go to the wedding. He wouldn't talk to anybody. He was sure all his grandchildren were going to hell. Turns out he was right about that, but for reasons he could have never dreamed of. And he was the sexton at the St. George Greek Orthodox Church. He was the guy who made sure there was a 50-gallon bucket of frankincense so that Father Myhos could asphyxiate the congregation every Sunday. Have you ever been to an Orthodox church? There's like the big canisters with smoke coming out of them. Where you're like, what the hell's going on here? So he had all kinds of problems with it, but they just did whatever they wanted, the two of them, and that's the blood that runs through me. It's it's an independent streak underneath the pressure. Doesn't matter how much pressure. So I want to tell you this story about my dad. So I play in the Midwest a lot, and in the Midwest people are really friendly, and it bothers me. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, I keep trying to figure out what they want. And they're like, we're just friendly. I'm like, no, you've got an angle. They're like, no, just friendly. And so one of the things I say to them, if you're with my family, there's two things you need to know. One, if we're picking on you, that means we like you. And if we're quiet, you really should leave. So with that in mind, let me tell you this story. I go to my dad's house. He's there by himself, and I'm teasing him the way we do. Right? I thought I was in the safe zone, but I wasn't. I think I said something to him about maybe he shouldn't have drank so much when he was raising us or something like that, but he got mad. He was mad, and he gave me this look, and as soon as he gave it to me, I knew I was doomed. He was like stronger than me and tougher than me and a war veteran and a rigger. He was this wide. He was a bartender and a hustler and a gambler. He had me outmatched on every level like that. He used to say to me, watch people. He goes, watch people when they don't know you're watching them. And listen to what they're saying. They'll tell you so much about themselves. And you can take that information, son, and put it in your ass pocket in case you need it later. Ass pocket, for those of you that don't know, is the 1940s term for database. So I make him mad, and he's got 43 years of data on me. I am outmatched. He knows every weakness now, and he's going to give me a master class in how to never speak to someone the way you just did. And he says to me, did you have a bicycle when you were a kid? I go, I had a bicycle. You bought it for me. He goes, did you ride around the town on your bicycle with your friends? I go, yeah, I did. He goes, I'm so happy for you. He goes, I always wanted a bicycle when I was a kid, but my father left us when I was 13 years old, and I had to be the breadwinner. I used to get up at 3 in the morning and go make muffins at the bakery, and then go to school and then make muffins at the bakery after school, and I would see other kids riding their bikes and having fun and laughing, and I always wanted that, but I never got to do that because I was a breadwinner at 13 years old. But you had a bicycle when you were a kid, and you got to drive around with your friends. And he leaned close to me. He goes, I am so happy for you. So I started out 5'8" in this thing, but now he's like whittling me down, right? So he says to me, have you ever been cold? I go, I see what you're doing. He goes, have you ever been cold? I go, no. He goes, I was cold. My mother used to put the Jell-O next to my bed at night because it was colder in my bedroom than it was in the icebox. She goes, but now that I think about it, there's always been oil in the furnace, and the radiators have always been warm, and you've never been cold 1 minute in your life, and you had a bicycle to ride around or with your friends. I am so happy for you. So now I'm about the size of a Ken doll, right? Like I had been sitting at the kitchen table, but now I'm standing on the chair just looking over the top like this. And he had been standing in the doorway of the living room, and the sun had gone down, so it was dark in the kitchen now. So he walked through the dark kitchen, and he opened the refrigerator up, and it silhouetted him in this dark room, like he looked like a brickyard religious icon. Do you know what I mean? His big Irish head, you know what I mean? You could almost hear the refrigerator going, oh, like that, right? And he's talking, not to me, he's talking to the milk and the eggs and the stuff in the refrigerator. He's like, have you ever been hungry? I'm like, no, Dad, I've never been hungry. He said, I was hungry. Man, we ate mayonnaise sandwiches for days. He said, I was a Depression era kid. He goes, my mother used the same tea bag for 10 cups of tea. He goes, but you, never hungry, never cold, and you had a bicycle to ride around on with your friends. I am so happy for you. So now he turns around, and he's got a package of ham and cheese in his hands, and he's going to finish me off. It's like the end of the master class. And before he started walking toward me, I was just thinking about how smart he was. Like, he could have yelled at me, but I could have defended myself against that. When somebody yells at me, I can defend myself. I'm not defending myself against the point they're making. I can't even remember the point they're making. I'm saying, stop yelling at me. That's why yelling at people is just a completely ineffective way to get them to change their behavior, because they don't even remember the point. They just are defending being yelled at. He didn't do that. He could have called me names. He could have done all that. He didn't. He just asked me a question. He counterpointed it and just whittled me down to the size of a mouse, basically. Right? So now I'm thinking that, and he comes over and he leans close into me, and he says, look, you can say whatever you want about how I raised you. I'm a full-grown man. I'm not going to stop loving you no matter what you say. I've been to war. There's nothing you can say that's going to scare me or hurt me. He goes, but you need to know something. I can't believe you're 40 years old and I have to explain this to you, but I'm gonna. He goes, this life that you had, never hungry, never cold, able to have toys that you wanted and a bicycle and friends to laugh with and not have to go to work at 13 years old. And he hit the table and he went, and never stop work until you retire at 65. Not only did I not have any of this, but I'm telling you the truth now, I didn't know it was possible. It would have been beyond my ability to dream of this life that you are criticizing me for giving you. Now, you need a microscope to find me. I'm whittled down to nothing. And he took the ham and the cheese and he dropped it on the table. He didn't slam it. That would have been too dramatic. He just dropped it. He went, pow. And he said, you look hungry. Make a sandwich. And he went in the living room and sat in the big dad chair with a big grin on his face, thinking to himself, now that's how you do that. When I was driving home, I was thinking about it. And I thought to myself, if the question is, would you trade childhoods with your parents? And some people might say yes. Some people had parents had a good life. They became drug addicts, weren't able to give their kids a good life. But for me, the answer is a hard no. I am not trading childhoods with my Depression-era, dirt poor, single family, single mother parents. I'm not, I'll take the one I have. So if the question is, would you trade childhoods with your parents, and the answer is no, then maybe, Dawn White, it's time for you to stop criticizing how they raised you and get in line the way everybody before you did and do some work to make it better for the next group coming along. All right, how you doing? Are you getting tired? I am. Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to sing 2 songs. Then the second song is going to be the fake ending of the show. What I mean by that is normally at the fake ending part, I would go backstage and wait for encore. I guess I could duck behind this thing, but it all seems unreasonable. So when we get to the second song, at the end of it, I'm not going to go hide. I'm just going to stand here like this. Then if you'd like another song and make some noise, I'll come back. I'll sing a song. And if you're really not sick of me at that point, I'll invite everybody else up and we'll do something together. So let's review. One song, second song is the fake ending of the show, like this. Come back. One more song, and then maybe, up to you, big folk ending with everybody singing together. You got that? All right. Okay. So this song I wrote when I started writing it when I was at my mom's funeral. I was at my mother's funeral, and I was looking at across the room thinking, I'm not sure I'm made out of whatever you need to be made out of to live through this. Like, this was, like, I wasn't going to jump out a window or anything, but it hurt. And I looked across the room, and I saw her sister. And at the time, her sister was 82, and she's a punk and a wise guy and a flirt, and she likes to drink and dance and pinch you on the butt and tell dirty jokes. She's like the most dangerous 82-year-old in the world. Right? And I had an epiphany when I looked at her. It was like half an epiphany. I guess you'd call it an epiph. It was an epiph. And my epiph was, what happened to me once, losing somebody I love, I think is going to kill me, happened to her 30 times. I made a list in my mind of all the people that she lost, her husband, everybody, her sisters, all that. And I thought, man, if I get another decade or two, which nobody's promising me, I'll live to the end of this show, really. But if I'm lucky enough to get up into 80s and 90s, I want to be like her. She did 2 things that I really appreciate. One was she knew how to mourn. She would go and feel it, like just eat ice cream for a week or cry, whatever it was, so that it didn't stay unfelt down there and affect her decision making, without her knowing it. So she knew how to mourn and feel it, get it out of the way. And the second thing she did, she knew how to do, that I'm hoping that I can learn how to do, is She came back to life. She came back to the world after loss the way the people that she lost would want her to, right? If you're the person that's gone and you could talk to the people you left behind, what would you say? You'd say, squeeze the juice out of every minute. Cause as much trouble as possible. I lost my mother. I lost my father. Well, I really didn't lose them. I know exactly where they both are. It's not like they went for a walk, took a wrong turn and both got lost. It just hurts less to say I lost them than to say they're dead. Betty May is 82. She's having more fun than me and you. All she wants to do is laugh and sing. She's the biggest flirt I ever seen. She still flutters those baby blues like she did when she was 22. So much mischief in those eyes. I never seen someone more alive. More alive, more alive. Waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. When my mother died, I was so smashed up inside. I was crying like a baby. I thought the pain might kill me. And Betty said, son, you won't believe how many loved ones I buried. My father, sister, my brother, son, my husband, and my mother. And every time I lose a friend, never going to laugh again. I lay around and watch bad TV till this feeling comes over me. And then I put some music on and play my favorite song. Dance around my living room like I did when I was 22. Fake loose of that pain inside on the day when I decide not only will I survive, I am going to be more alive, more alive, more alive. Waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. She said, go ahead, feel your pain. Watch bad TV for days, but when you're ready to come out and play, you come see Betty May, and we'll put some music on and play your favorite song. Dance around my living room like we both were 22, and shake loose of that pain inside on the day when you decide not only will you survive, you're going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, in time they can make you more alive. I thought you said this guy was funny. What the hell was that? All right, so let's see. Let's review. That's the one song. This is the fake ending of the show song, right? And I'm gonna do this one here because, man, I don't get to play in these beautiful rooms that much in this thing. Can you hear me if I'm over here? Yeah, but it's a kind of a big room. It swallows up sound. I'll do it here. There is a little girl with pretty curls. She's about 5 years old, and she is waiting at the gate for her dad to come home. When he pulls around the corner in his shiny white car, she feels the magic light up in her heart. And he picks her up and he holds her. He says he missed her. He's glad that she is here. As the child lays her head on his shoulder, she whispers these words in his ear. Daddy, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now she is 20 and there's plenty of love everywhere. She's getting married, so her family and her friends are all there. They've gathered this morning to stand at her side as she waves goodbye to this time in her life. And they each take a moment to hold her and to tell her what she means to them. In a world that seems to keep getting colder, she has been blessed with a warm family and friends. She says, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now they are 60, now they are older, and no one told her it got crazy like this. They're going to night school, they're working jobs too, they are raising 3 kids. The youngest one is crying with a bruise on her knee. She needs attention and she needs sympathy. And when she picks her up and she holds her, that old magic lights up in her heart. And as the child lays her head on her shoulder, she knows exactly why they're working so hard. Little girl, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now they are 60 and their history spans 40 odd years. They have buried their parents, now their grandkids are here. There's something about the way they look in each other's eyes that speaks softly about the meaning of life. And when he puts his arm out to hold her, It feels so familiar and warm. She thinks love is an expanding endeavor till your last breath from the moment you're born. Now she is 80 and she hates being in this nursing home. Her man's been gone now for a long while and she feels so alone. She closes her eyes and she begins to pray that a little comfort might just come her way. And God lifts her up and he holds her. And she remembers this feeling she has. She is not a woman whose life is almost over. She's a little girl being held by her dad. And God, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. And God, love is real simple. Love is real simple. Love is real simple and true. Oh my God, what a surprise. All right, so what did we say we're going to do? 2 songs, that's the fake ending. I'm going to do one by myself, and then if you want, I'll bring everybody up. Still with me? Yeah. I'm not getting too tired. There's a lot of glare out there. A lot of glare. All right, so in Massachusetts, where I'm from, weed is legal, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. It's completely. What's the deal here? Can you just go buy it in a store? That right? Just walk in like a liquor store and buy it, right? No. That's how it is in Massachusetts, right? Like right there. So do you remember when it was like quasi-legal, when you had like to get your doctor to lie for you? Remember that? Like Dawn has early stages of glaucoma, and some anxiety, so I'm prescribing 2 ounces of sticky Hawaiian bud for him. Like that. But now you just walk in the store and you buy it. And I'm okay with that. I don't smoke it myself. I did when I was a kid, younger, but not, I don't. But I'm glad nobody's going to jail for it. Let me just say that clearly. I'm glad that it's legal and that nobody's going to jail for it, okay? Here are my concerns. In the city of Lynn right now, Massachusetts, which because it's legal now, right? You can't go anywhere and not smell weed. Anywhere. It's coming out of churches and kindergartens and police cars. You pull up to an intersection, there's 3 other cars, there's smoke pouring out of them all over the place. You're like, go ahead. They're like, no, man, you go. I don't even care about that. That doesn't even bother me. I'm concerned about 2 things. First thing I'm concerned about is joggers. I think you leave your house perfectly sober and you're huffing and puffing through the town past the kindergarten and the churches and the police cars and the intersections. By the time you get home, you got like a 4-pound bag of Doritos and you're like binge watching sitcoms from the 70s for the next 24 hours. I don't even really care about that. My real concern is this. I got to talk to Frank today. I like conversation. COVID killed me, not being able to take people out for lunch and just to talk to them. I love conversation. I love to listen to what people have to say, and it helps me to grow, and I pay attention. So the kind of conversation that I am the fondest of is the kind where the person that you're talking to can remember what you just said. I'm a huge fan of that conversation. But in this situation that we're in now, in Lynn especially, where I live, those of us that like focused conversations, we're going to have to go underground. We're going to have like speakeasies. We'll call them speak coherently easies. Like you knock on the thing and the guy will slide the thing aside. Instead of saying Joe sent me, you have to like recite a piece of Shakespeare or like show that you've got some memory left, right? So here's my song. I have some CDs over there. I have books, of course, too. The books are $25, and two for $40. I have two books. The CDs, I don't know. Tell me you like my shirt, I'll give you a CD. Or let's say $10 or whatever you can afford on those, because they're, it's hard to find people who even have CD players now. So, but I'll be over there looking pitiful as you walk by on the way out. I want to take a minute and thank our sound professional doing a fantastic job, Steve, wherever he is. And the opening act, Sweet Louise, that was just amazing. And Frank Patelli and all the volunteers at the church and everybody from Parks and Rec, all of it. It's a beautiful scene that you have going here. So let's aggravate all the stoners in the audience now. I sat around with a bunch of stoners. I listened to them talk all night long. They were sure that their conversation was deep with the meaning. They were wrong, 'cause when you smoke it, it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. We're doing nothing at all. Tell you what, tomorrow I'm going to play my annual show at Club Passim, which is where Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and Pete Seeger all played. So I'll teach you the chorus Pete Seeger style. Do you know what I'm talking about? So I'll yell the words out and then you sing with me. Because when you smoke it, it makes you stupid, it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, I thought you knew it. But I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. This is nothing at all. My friend Harry lit up a fatty to celebrate my brand new job. I watched his brain float out of my window. He was still talking, but he was gone. 'Cause when you smoke, it makes you stupid, it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. This is nothing at all. All right, for this part, I'm going to have to get into character. So it's 1970, say 79 or 77, something like that. I'm 19, probably. Over my friend's house. Parents are gone. We're down in the basement. All my friends are there. A lot of smoke in the room. And I can see through the haze my best friend. And I could tell by the look on his face that he just had a thought so profound and so deep that after he speaks it, if I am wise enough to take the knowledge that is in this piece of information and apply it to my life, the entire trajectory of my existence will be transformed. So here, let me get into character. I'm going to droop my eyes a little bit. And I'm going to slow the song down to stoner speed. It's still too fast. Hang on. There it is. All right, here we go. What if our whole life is just a dream, man? What if we're dreaming this right now? I forgot what I was just saying. Let's order pizza. Pizza, wow. 'Cause when you smoke it, you make you stupid. Thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. This is nothing. Nothing at all. It cures glaucoma. It cures insomnia. Some people say that it is a cancer cure, but it does not cure incoherent conversation, that's for sure. I'm going to unplug. All right, so please welcome back the band.
Folks, give it up for Don White right there, please. You remember Sweet Louise and the Lucky River Band? Remember those guys?
This was good fun. This is a good group you got here. Nice. All right, so you remember your verse? Okay, good. All right. So this is a beautiful room for singing in. So this song is called Irene Goodnight. At one time, it was the most popular song on planet Earth. Did you know that? It was like the most popular song in the world. And while you're listening, I want you to pay attention because this is a folk song, a traditional folk song. And it's something that I've noticed about a lot of traditional folk songs is that the verses, it's kind of perky melody, even though it's a waltz. But I just want you to pay attention to how many of the verses are about killing yourself. Okay, thank you. Come over, I can see you. Like, yeah, so I don't feel like I'm in front of you. All right, so let's play it through one time. This is in G, and give us a little intro here. Sometimes get a great notion to jump into the river and drown. Big finish. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Thank you for a wonderful night. Let's put the bottle up with the beat. Ready? One more time for Little Beatles. All right.
Hey, folks, that's Don White right there. And this is Sweet Louise and the Monkey River Band. Thank you very, very much for being here at the Old Church Acoustic Series. Do we have anything else to do? We have a little raffle thing, so don't go anywhere just yet. Money in the tip jar. Once again, you know that you are the sponsors of this show. If you liked what you heard or you feel like you've been blessed, you can bless the musicians by dumping any tips and right in the bucket. Oh, do these have names on them?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Joyce Marston. Joyce.
Woo!
That's it? All right.
I'm done.
For Joyce?
Yes.
Thanks, Joyce. Folks, have a very beautiful day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay out of trouble. Fight the power and be kind to one another. We'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody.